Hey, it's Cherie with Professional Tour Management Training. Before I started the workshops that I just completed, I sent out a survey, and this went to new tour directors and guides as well as established tour directors and guides. Asked me some very interesting questions, and I'm quoting, I can't cover everything. A lot of them are repeat, and I tried to answer most of the questions during our workshop, but just in case I missed something, I hope you find this helpful. These are word for word how they answered the questions. Here's somebody with experience, gaining experience doing early morning work in big convention settings, working with folks who are untrained in DMC work and getting started in the tourism, travel, hospitality industry. Good for you. Right now, things are tough. They're bringing in people to work as field staff that, like you said, they don't know what they're doing. They're also bringing people in as operations manager. Same thing. A lot of them are new. So they are missing things. Things are falling in the cracks. Right now, it takes lots of patience. We're getting up to speed again, but we've lost a lot of employees over the time we were closed down, and we're all kind of going through that. So hang in there. Suggest my course so that they can get up to speed, and hang in there. We're all going through that kind of thing right now. Getting training and becoming a member of an industry group. It shows your seriousness and commitment to our career. Continuing education, always involve and keep up with changes in our field. Great advice from obviously a very professional and experienced tour director. Thank you. I don't have training or skills, so I've never applied for these jobs. Hopefully that workshop helped you. Hopefully you'll get in my training and I can walk you through it. It's not that complicated. Let me help you to develop your skills so you can be exactly what that tour operator needs. I think it would be great if your course includes how an individual can create their own private tours. I hope the section I did on tour guiding helped. I didn't spend a lot of time on tour guiding. Of course, I have more information on that and help in my course. I always suggest joining the local tour guide association. You might even start with Airbnb. You can do your own, put up a little blurb about it, and be leading tours by this week. Full-time occupation, do you have to do a mix of local step-on and road to work full-time? How realistic is it? And again, I tried to answer that in the workshop. You can work all year. Most of us like the flexibility. I had one of the questions I had when I did the survey was, oh, you have to do the same thing over and over. No, you don't. That's all up to you. And some of us like to get the routine because when we start new tours, it can be a bit stressful. So it's completely up to you. You can do certain jobs and then stay home and work locally in between. And I hope by talking about student tours, the CMI market, the adult tours, the fall foliage tours, all of that put together in the local positions, you can work full time. What would be another good side hustle to have to be able to do tours slow time? So that's where your local, if it's slow and you want to work locally, look into the sightseeing companies. They're all busy all year. Look into the specialty tours like the ghost tours, the taste stuff. Do a search for your area. Tours in Savannah, and you'll come up with all kinds of things. Go to their visitor sites. What used to be called CVB, convention meetings, convention visitors and CVB bureaus, are now mainly called Visit. So it'll be a site that says Visit Savannah or Visit California or Visit New Orleans, that kind of thing. And look at their members, look at what they offer. Contact those companies. That's a fun side hustle to have. I mean, you might be doing tours in a brewery or doing wine tours. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do. So I hope that helps. We don't have any, I would say the slow time was probably Thanksgiving to Christmas. That's our slowest time in most cases. Can you make a living at tour directing? Yes, you can. I have been for years and years and years, and so have many of my friends and colleagues. And I tried to cover that and give you specifics for that in the workshop, so I hope that was helpful. Obnoxious guests with no regard to others. This happens. I usually figure it's about every third tour they try to put those people on my tour, just so that I realize it's not always easy. But most people want to be liked. Most people like being with people or they wouldn't take tours. But we do get the obnoxious one. Sometimes it's someone that wants attention and they'll tease the first day and lots of comments and tease the second day. And by the third day, the tour members are kind of turning them off. Or the person that always wants to sit in that front seat and no regard for anyone else. And that's why we rotate seats on the coach. Sounds elementary if you haven't done tours, but important. If I'm not going to have a small group, I'm not going to rotate seats. I'll say we're going to alternate the front seats. In fact, I had a tour, I think it was in China or someplace like that. It was a small group, so I said, well, we're not going to rotate seats, but I always want those front seats for different people. And I got on the bus one day and they're all in the back and I'm the only one sitting in the front. just to sort of egg me on, but funny. But yes, but I mentioned in the workshop, I don't have to see them once that tour is over ever again. I'm going to send them back to their job and somebody else can deal with them for the next 10, 20 years. I don't have to deal with them, and that's a plus. And plus it makes points with your tour members when they see you have to deal with somebody like that. How to best approach getting your tour director work after retirement. 70% of the people that do escorted tours are 50 and over, and many are older than that. People are, I think feel safer with maturity. If you have the energy and you have the ability and you can keep up, great. The tour operators are more concerned with that than your age. And actually, most people don't even go into this until, I would say, 46 and up. My experience recently seems to be the age of people going into this business, and they've had other careers and now this is what they want to do. So after retirement, no problem. What to talk about or do when it seems that the group knows way more information about the trip destination than the tour director. Yeah, that can happen. And now, you've got, what I'll do if they ask me a question I don't know, I'll just say, well, that's a good question. I've never thought about that. Let me get back to you. They don't expect you to know everything. And we're all nervous when we start out new tours. Please don't ask me. We try to prepare, and every time you're going to get better, because what's going to happen that first tour, and I still do this. And it's not my first tour. My lunchtime, my breaks, often we're done by 1, maybe have something that evening. I'm walking around. I'm going to attractions. I'm going to the local restaurants. I'm trying to picking up brochures. I'm trying to figure out what I can suggest to my tour members. It may not be till the next tour, but it will get easier. And you will get better because you're going to be aware. One of the biggest challenges with being hired on with a new company was being available with the last moment's request. Sometimes you only get one shot and it's a job the next day. And that's often how, in the past, how new tour directors were hired, emergency hiring. Suddenly they needed somebody. They'd say, well, I haven't heard from them, but you want to be available when they have that last minute need for, we call it emergency hiring. Usually within 30 days of the tour is considered emergency hiring the next day. If you can do it, great. If you can make some shifts in your schedule, great, do it. But if not, apologize and then keep in touch with them. Send them an email, send them a card. I'm so sorry I wasn't available at that time, but this is when I will be available. And thank you for your consideration. Just short, sweet, let them know that you're still interested and available. Because if you can't do it, you can't do it. There's not much you can do, but let them know for the future you are available. What's the best way to leave a good impression on the hiring party so they remember you and will think of you for jobs when there's a lot of competition and without being annoying by email the hiring party all the time? Great question. You don't have to be annoying, and the emails can be really short. The letters, cards, send them a card, really short. Hi, just wonderful meeting you. I really enjoyed it. I hope to work for your company. I'm an experienced tour director, guide. I've done tours all over the world. And let me know and I am available after June, or I'm available at the last minute notice, or I'm available after September, or whatever, just short and sweet so that they do remember you. A card in the mail, a thank you card in the mail. Again, short and sweet. They want to read on and on. And if you're the kind of person that goes on and on and on, they probably don't want to work with you because they don't have time, So short, sweet, and direct. And that's what I suggest. If you go out of town and you're in tour in China, send them a card from China. I'm on tour in China, but I will be back and available after June. Shows that you have experience, but also, when you're going to be available. And then somebody wrote to me, best of luck. Thank you. I already lead tours. And I think for me, the two questions most important would be, what companies are best to work for, where the TD matters and isn't just a number? First question. This is where our associations have helped. We're starting to get together now yearly, different groups, which, by the way, once you enroll in the course, you can become members of those groups because they're only open for professionally trained tour directors and guides and tour directors and guides with experience. But it's a great way to find out who the better companies are, to interview with the better companies, and you'll be meeting lots of friends, and we all talk. I can't name specific companies now, but let me say too, sometimes working for the big companies isn't as rewarding as some of the smaller, maybe less known, more specialty type tour companies. But your friends will be offered jobs. So for instance, I get a call, Cherie, can you do a tour to Yellowstone on these dates? And I say, I'd love to, but I'm already booked. And often the tour operator will say, is there somebody that you can recommend? And that goes for local, domestic, international jobs. I get the question. So that's when your friends and associates that you meet will recommend you to those companies. The other, what companies hire new TDs without much experience? Sometimes student tours is a great place to start. The student operators don't want you just going in because you're using them as a stepping stone, which a lot of people do. But the tours are often short. I mean, maybe you're taking a group to Disneyland, or you're taking them to Disney World for the Magic Music Days, or, it's a 3-4 day tour. And I'll tell you, Liz Moran in the course, the Leading Safe and Successful Student Tours, has done a great job in leading student tours. Just do what she says to do and say what she says to say. And they're shorter, so it's a great way to start getting experience. Also, working for the destination management companies in the CMI market can be a great way to get into the business. I see my students, there's a lot of carryover into, it's not everything you need to know to lead tours, but you get experience in working with drivers and airports and luggage and transfers and events and all of that. So another good place to start without a lot of experience. So I hope that helps. Again, I want to thank you for your help, all the people that took the survey, all the people that participated in the workshop and gave me feedback. I hope this has been helpful with our new tour directors and experienced tour directors and guides. We are in a unique career. We now have more opportunities than ever to work together, to network, to come together for the benefit of our tour operators, our tour directors, and our travelers. Questions, let me know. Cherie, Professional Tour Management Training, Cherie, Cherie, @tourtraining.com.